Good morning. Praise to you. Blessed are you as you struggle through these pandemic days, as you face the trials of your life, knowing that more are going to come. Praise are you when you feel you are ordinary and insignificant, and that you love where you're planted and you shine with who you can to make a difference in this small part of the world. Thank you for having me with you this morning. I'm David Maginley, and I am honored to swim in suffering with those who teach me every day what is most essential in life: to live well, to love deeply, to be awake to the mystery, and to be a conduit of grace. They do it, our patients, our doctors, without even suspecting it. Because within their practice, they feel very ordinary, and within their illness, they feel very mortal. And yet, they remind us every day of what is at the heart of life. Not the accomplishments and not the possessions, not even the adventures, but only the love. Because they are taking treatment so the love stories continue. And that is a sacred endeavor, for God is love. That means for you, you are a blessing to this world when you love, for love is your spiritual practice. You have been anointed and consecrated for that purpose. That is how you shine in this world. That is how you become blessed, especially through the trials of your life. The scripture presented us with some very challenging truths. Blessed are you when you are poor in spirit. Blessed are you when you grieve. Blessed are you when you are meek. Who on earth would want that kind of blessing? What is going on beneath this? Well, first we have to remember that Jesus really had two gospels. When speaking to those on high, he was always saying that love will conquer power, and you have to get with the program or you will fall. It was a revolutionary message, a radical message that challenged the powers and frankly led to his crucifixion. But love could do no other than speak truth to power. So that gospel brings those on high down low. But to those impoverished, to the weak, to the poor, to the destitute, to the rejected, to the suffering, the gospel always lifted them up. And it is to them he is speaking. His disciples are gathered around him. And it said he went up to a mountain to do this, or onto a hill. One sees parallels with Moses going up into the mountain and bringing down a new word. And he told them these profoundly challenging truths. The meek. How can you be blessed when you are meek? We don't realize that that word in the scriptures alludes to a specific quality of character. And that is that of a warrior who is trained in the art of the sword. But instead of using it, he keeps it in its sheath, and he takes the lower way of consideration, compassion, compromise, of listening. That is what it means to be meek. In the Buddhist tradition, it's called to become a bodhisattva, a warrior of compassion. Blessed are you when you choose to enter through the ways of love instead of power, when you choose mercy over retribution. Blessed are those who grieve. You never feel like you're blessed when you're grieving, and yet grief is the price you pay for love. Grief is one of the most noble qualities of the human spirit. When someone is grieving, they are poignantly beautiful. Sadness draws other people close. It causes us to open our arms and our hearts and envelop that person in our company with no desire to fix them, but only to be with them in their sorrow. That is how they receive a blessing, and they awaken us to our own humanity and the gift of our relationships to each other. So blessed are those who grieve. Blessed are those who are persecuted. That never feels like a blessing. And yet, those who are persecuted awaken humanity. They awaken humanity to the call for justice and for all of us to repair the world. They break open our hearts and pull us out of our comfortable homes and our comfortable life to make a difference in the world, even if that is to a person thousands of miles away. Even if that evokes a prayer within us, it becomes a blessing because that is shaping our humanity and awakening us as instruments of light in this world. I have been blessed by cancer to become a blessing to others. I cannot look upon my cancer as a blessing until I am on the other side of it. I cannot understand how it's affected me or the world until I really am at the end of my life. But in the meantime, the critical movement in order to cause my struggle to become a blessing was to move from the question, why did I get cancer? To, what am I going to do with it? It has so much fuel to deepen my humanity, amplify my love, and awaken me to the mystery of who I am as a child of God. There is a frustrating dynamic that exhausts us through suffering, and yet it tunes us like a musical instrument to the song of love. Nothing strips us of our illusions of control and our confidence in our ego like suffering does. Our ego is who and what we think we are in the world, the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. So, my ego says, I'm David, I'm a middle class, very tall, white guy, a minister, a chaplain. I like chocolate, I love coffee, cappuccino. I don't suppose we have cappuccino after church, okay. And all of the other qualities of which I'm proud of, and which make me confident, and give me a sense of dignity. And yet all those are part of a story. They are not my true self. The ego's story is an essential piece of clothing that we wear in the human journey, but suffering strips it away, erodes it. Because when cancer hits you, when you're sitting in a chair getting chemotherapy, when you're walking with support because you're frail, when you're constantly tired, or lying in the bed reduced to simply the body under the blankets, the ego falls away. And that is required in order for us to be true conduits of the ultimate mystery, this sacred light that is shining within. At the end of life, it becomes inevitable. The ego is deconstructed through suffering to reveal the sacred. Over 90% of people, as they are dying, exhibit mystical awareness. They can perceive the company of their welcoming committee. They can perceive angels or celestial realms. They often reach up and out, or they speak in cryptic ways that indicate they're heading somewhere and they're excited or they're calm and peaceful. I see this every week. God cannot truly meet you unless you are not there. Unless you put the ego, the control, and the really sometimes nice-looking appearance, the clothing of the self, unless you put that aside. The people on high are brought low. Even myself must be brought low in order to be opened, to allow what is fundamentally at the core to shine out. That is how we become blessed. Fortunately, you don't need to become sick or experience a trial of life in order to do this. You can do it right now in this moment. I want to guide you in a brief exercise. Something simple that can awaken your awareness. As you're sitting now, or as you're watching, sitting at home, I'd like you to notice what your body feels like. Notice it's sitting supported by your chair or by the pew. Notice any sensations. Perhaps you have a sore back, or a knee, or a slight headache. Stay with that and allow it. Breathe. And now notice your thoughts, and let them flow by like the clouds in the sky. Don't try to stop them. The average person has a thought every 3 to 5 seconds. The mind is very busy. So just notice the thoughts. You are not your body, and you're not your thoughts because they keep flowing. I'd like you to notice now your feelings. Perhaps you're feeling curious. Where's he going with this? Perhaps you're feeling hungry. It's only 11:15. Notice whatever you're feeling and how your feelings keep flowing by too. They are not essential to who you are. Observe your own experience. Observe your thoughts, your body, your feelings. Observe your experience. Okay. Now that seemed very simple. It is very difficult. You cannot maintain this level of awareness for a prolonged period of time. However, if you can descend or open to this moment every 10 seconds or so, just pause. That is all that is required. That is your training. It is especially effective when you are angry, when you are scared, when you are anxious, when you are overwhelmed. Pause and notice those feelings. How can this be a spiritual practice? Well, when I'm with cancer patients, I see them taking treatments because they're fighting for more moments of life, but they're avoiding the moment they have because it's so difficult. It's so loaded with emotions. We spend a great deal of energy avoiding ourselves through the course of a day. And then a decade has flown by and we don't remember much of it. Well, that's because we didn't fully show up in it. Jesus was fully present in the moment. And guess who else is fully present in the moment? God, love, Spirit, mystery. You. And all of this arises from and is sustained by that loving consciousness. We are blessed when struggle comes upon us because it forces us to show up, to drop the illusions, to ask the questions, to sit with ambiguity and not knowing, to love deeply, to live well, and to allow whatever is to be as it is. And in that quality of presence, you come back to yourself and you find the way forward. This is your spiritual practice. This is your spiritual journey. And together, we're all walking each other home to love. I wish that suffering and struggle and affliction were not so potent and effective in pushing us or sometimes dragging us down this road towards true authenticity, connection, community, and ultimately transformation. I wish there was a better way. But we are a foolish and sometimes cruel species. There's always some of us. There's something within all of us that needs to be brought low by that hard gospel. And there are times we need to be lifted up when we feel there is no hope. For you to engage with your suffering and your struggle and trials, whatever they may be, with an attitude, an orientation, a perspective, that you're not going to spend a lot of energy asking, why did this happen? You're going to say, what can I do with this? How can I use this to amplify my love? To slow down, to shine in a simple way. As portrayed in the video, that could be as ordinary as taking out the garbage. This is how I love. As ordinary as visiting a shut-in. This is how I love. Or as ordinary as doing whatever your job is, but doing it because this is how you love. For God is love. No other opportunities in life will provide you with fuel for the transformation of the world like suffering and struggle. So whatever your journey is, may you be blessed to be a blessing. Whatever your trial is, may it transform your humanity to something even more gracious and beautiful. Whatever our journey is, may we walk it together. Shared solidarity of suffering and shared illumination of sacred right. May God bless you with this. May God keep you and walk with you through this. May you be his children and transform this world where you are planted. Amen.